Good morning, and welcome to the weekly multi-platform service of the Tri-County Unitarian Universalists, based in Summerfield, Florida. My name is Liana Barnes, and I am today's service leader. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of indigenous Florida peoples. Hello to our members. Hello, everybody, and friends. Special welcome for those who might be visiting for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It is our respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly binds us together. For the curious and the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found in your order of service and at our website, triuu.org. Our newsletter can also be found under the news and events. We have announcements, but first, please mute your cell phones or place it in airplane modes. Okay, thank you. We would like to offer a special thank you to Reverend Carole for being on our pulpit today. Our previously scheduled speaker became ill on Wednesday, and she answered our SOS call and agreed to come speak with both us and our sister church, UUCLC. 4 days to prepare, right? If you are looking for Reverend Christina, she will be back next week, next Sunday. A big announcement. Did you know that pollinators are responsible for 1 in every 3 bites of food we eat? The University of Florida is requesting your help, and it's 2 dates, August 21 and 22, for a pollinator census. It's taking place all over southeastern part of the United States. And if you would like to participate, it would take about 15 minutes of your time. I'm told that Brendan Nelson has more information, or there's information at the brochure at the back of our area there. All right, so that's all the butterflies and the bees. Thank you. This concludes our announcements as we now begin our service proper. We will recite our vision statement. Please join your voice as we recite together. We will be an influential voice for progressive religious values in a diverse community. Our chalice keeper today is Lenore Mickelson. We invite those of you joining us on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
Most all of you remember Doris Palet. Recently, she died, and in her obituary was a statement that she said she lived by. When you die, you only take 2 things with you: the love you shared and the difference you made.
I would like to tell you more about Reverend Carole. Before attending Andover Newton Theological School in Massachusetts in 1994, Reverend Carole Yorke had a variety of careers. After college, she was a high school English teacher. Then she spent 10 years working for IBM. After a series of part-time jobs, she found a position teaching basic skills to recovering drug addicts at Integrity House in Newark, New Jersey. From there, having experienced the call to ministry, Reverend Carole went to seminary. She came to Florida in 1998, served several churches here, and retired. She came out of retirement to do preaching in various churches and has found several interesting places to do further work. Reverend Carole lives in Dunellen with her 2 Pomeranians. Right now is when we do our hymn. Please stand as you are willing and able to, not yet. Invitation to centering. I think it might be reversed here. All right. Yeah, page 2. Why don't I have that invitation? Oh, that is your job. No wonder I'm confused. She gives that. I was thinking, I don't need to do that. Thank you.
Good morning.
We're going to try this again. There we are. See, I come here as a surprise and everything is loony. I'm going to start all over with a good morning again and welcome. If you came here this morning looking for all the answers, I have bad news. We Unitarian Universalists specialize in better questions. What we do have is this: a place to practice being human together. That means we will try for compassion before judgment, curiosity before certainty, and coffee after the service. So bring your doubts, bring the dog hair on your black pants, bring your grief, bring your joy. It all counts. You belong here. Let's begin together again. Let's worship together.
Stand as you are willing and able to sing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
Wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, 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 whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Sung that hymn a million times. I love it. Come, come whoever you are. It's like our first principle. Remember our principles? That we covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every single person. I just love it. These things that all come together with the same message. Whoever you are, you have worth and dignity. Now, I sent in some information to Helene about what the service might be today. That was on Wednesday afternoon. By Thursday morning, I had made changes. So even with the whistle stop title, actually what's listed as the whistle stop title you might hear on August 30th. But for today, we're doing a little different. Today, I want to talk about and then read a poem, not by him. I want to talk about the Reverend Dr. Forrest Church, who was the senior minister for more than 30 years at All Souls UU Church in New York City. Yeah, wow. At the end of his life, and I will talk about his life later, he had a clear-eyed guide for how to live while dying. He had been diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He had a mantra, which is much quoted. Want what you have, do what you can, and be who you are. He said the third one, the be who you are, is the hardest. And so did May Sarton, one of my favorite poets. She knew how hard it was. She wrote the following poem when she was 83. The poem is entitled, Now I Become Myself. Any of you recognize that title by May Sarton? Now I become myself. It's taken time, many years and places. I have been dissolved and shaken with other people's faces. Run madly as if time were there, terribly old, crying a warning. Hurry! You will be dead before what? Before you reach the morning? Or the end of the poem is clear? Or love safe in the walled city? Now, to stand still, to be here, feel my own weight and density. The black shadow on the paper is my hand, the shadow of a word as thought shapes the shaper, falls heavy on the page, is heard. All fuses now, falls into place, from wish to action, word to silence. My work, my love, my time, my face, gathered into one intense gesture of growing like a plant, as slowly as the ripening fruit, fertile, detached, and always spent. Falls but does not exhaust the root. So all the poem is, can give, grows in me to become the song, made so and rooted so by love. Now there is time, and time is young. Oh, in this single hour I live, all of myself, and do not move. I, the pursued, who madly ran, stand still. Stand still and stop the sun. And that's the close of the poem.
Thank you. As we move deeper into the service, let us turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, the sorrows, and concerns we all experience in our life's journey. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and the hope of concern. After those present have placed stones in the water, our ushers will place the stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those who are not physically present and those who have chosen not to or unable to come forward. Those online are invited to type into the chat what is in your heart. When all the stones have been mingled in the water and all have shared, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. As the sound of the bells bring us back into community, we will sing our response, Spirit of Life. I invite the ushers to come forward. Let us take a moment to reflect upon our own joys, concerns, and sorrows, and those of others. All the stirrings of passion blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. We will now receive our offering. If you are visiting for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest. We're happy to have you here with us today. This is the time in the service when those who wish to take some monetary contribution to our congregation's vision and mission give to support this community and its outreach. I invite the ushers to come forward.
Did I ever tell you that the song Spirit of Life, the hymn, I should start back a step. The first church I served in Florida was Spirit of Life UU's outside of Tampa. Northwest corner of Hillsborough County, actually. And those folks thought that Carolyn McDade had written Spirit of Life for them. So we had to straighten things out a little bit about the hymn. Well, let's take a breath together. You know what I'm going to say next? Exhale. And do you remember why? Do you remember the polyvagal theory? That if you exhale, you are settling your vagus nerve, you are settling your body, you are making it a safe place. And when we do it together, we make this place a safe environment. Not the world out there, this place. So let's take an inhale first, and then exhale a lot longer than your inhale was, vocally. One more. Feel your heart calming down, feel your shoulders drop, feel calm. We've now established place to listen, to learn, to love in community together. We are safe now and we can show up. So, who was Forest Church? The Reverend Dr. Forest Church. Besides being the minister of All Souls for 30-some years, he was a theologian. He was an historian of religion. And at the end of his life, that clear-eyed guide for how to live while dying. During his ministry in New York City, the church became both a haven for spiritual seekers and a beacon of social outreach to the community. He helped to found a shelter for homeless women in Harlem, a scouting program for boys and girls at a welfare hotel, a soup kitchen adjacent to the church. During his lifetime, he authored more than 20 books, ranging from American history to liberal religion and spirituality. He was frequently interviewed as the voice of liberal religion by NPR. When he was called to All Souls, attendance there hovered around 100. At the end of his life, the membership and attendance was in excess of 1,000. By all measures, Dr. Church's ministry was public, prolific, and powerful. But as with all of us, frail and fallible human beings, Forest Church fought his demons as well. In the year 2000, he acknowledged his alcoholism. He joined AA and remain sober for the rest of his life. He faced other struggles as well, and what perhaps made him a popular minister and preacher is that he used them to inform his ministry of compassion and hope. In February of 2008, he informed his congregation that he had been diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and that the doctors expected him to live but a few more months. With this death sentence in hand, Forrest did what he did best, and he picked up his pencil and paper and began to write. The book that resulted from these efforts is called Love and Death: My Journey Through the Valley of the Shadow. He expected this to be his last work, but as a result of an experimental treatment for this disease, he lived longer than predicted. So he wrote another book. And his final work was entitled The Cathedral of the World, a Universalist Theology. And that work was published after his death. He taught one of his teachings, which has had a very long life, a very, very long DNA, was this: religion is the human response to being alive and having to die. He refined that a little bit later, and he said, religion is our human response to the dual reality of being alive and having to die. Response, not answers. A human response to being alive and having to die. Now, when I had heard this a long time ago, but came upon it again recently, like last week, and I had to laugh because I thought about all those courses, college courses, university courses, degree courses, some high school courses, although not in this day and age, but called Religions of the World. Did you ever take a course called Religions of the World? I'll bet you did somewhere. Even in a church setting, you took a course. Imagine having to apply this sentence to every religion of the world as a definition. What would happen to all those religions? How would they change? There's a PhD dissertation for you. I'm going to say it again. Religion is our human response to the dual reality of being alive and having to die. A response. How we respond to the gift and the grief of being human. And how often have you heard here and elsewhere that the main question in life is how to be a better human being. How to be the best human being that you can be. And guess what? You gotta die afterwards. Now, in the last years of his life, while living with cancer, Forest Church distilled his whole theology into these 3 sentences. And he called them a mantra for living and for dying. Want what you have. That's one. The second one, do what you can. And the third one, be who you are. Now, I want to give credit to a colleague who has written about these 3 sentences in much depth. So I have pulled from that. Peter Friedrichs is a minister. I don't know where he is right now, but he was the author of 3 major sermons on these sentences. So I have to give him credit. The first one, want what you have. We spend so much of our lives wanting what we don't have. A different body, a different past, a different childhood, different parents, different family, different growing up place, a different past, more time, more money, more certainty. Forest Church learned something different after his diagnosis. A friend asked him, Forrest, what is it like to have cancer? Now, honestly, I think that's a stupid question to ask somebody, but I wasn't there. He answered, I have learned to want what I have. Now, he did not mean to give up on hope. He meant to, and this is so important, he meant to stop missing his own life while he was still living it. I want what I have, my life right now, right this minute. Something I know I'm going to have to give up, but I've got it right now. And I want it because I have it. Wanting what you have is not settling. It is noticing. It is gratitude without pretending that everything is fine. What's one thing that you have right now that you would miss if it were gone tomorrow? I'm sure you could come up with 1,000 things. Maybe it's your morning coffee. Maybe it's a chair that you love in your house. Maybe it's the breath that you just took a little while ago together. Maybe it's someone who knows your name. Want it while you have it. The second part of this mantra is do what you can. We cannot do everything. Hello? We cannot do everything. We cannot fix every hurt. We cannot cure every illness or right every wrong. If we try to do everything, you know that we end up doing nothing. We are frozen by what we cannot do. As soon as I wrote that, I said, oh, I used myself as an example for this in that polyvagal sermon. I froze when I tried to make a slide. Remember? You didn't see any slides from me because I froze. I couldn't do any more. I did 3. I wanted 6. I could not get back. I couldn't even remember how I did the 3. This was all new to me, this slide stuff, because I retired way before people started doing these great slides. I didn't know how to do them. And when I tried, I froze. I tried to do what I thought I could, but I couldn't. Church put it this way: what you can do, done with love, is enough. What you can do today might be small. Make a phone call. Say thank you. Drink water. Take a short walk. Say a prayer. Rest. Forgive one small thing. Done with love, it is enough. You do not have to save the world. That to me means I do not have to do those slides. You only have to do what is yours to do today. The third part of this mantra is be who you are. So I have to tell you a little story. When I was in seminary, one of the requirements for an MDiv degree is at least 1 unit of CPE, clinical pastoral education. That means working in a hospital or in a hospice or somewhere similar. So as part of my CPE training in seminary, I was in Massachusetts. I went to the Westboro State Hospital. It's a psychiatric hospital. It was a psychiatric hospital. They have now closed, I believe, all of the psychiatric hospitals in Massachusetts and came up with mental health community centers or some title like that in place. It sounds much more humane than a psychiatric hospital where people are locked up. I don't know the details about these new facilities, but I know that they've happened. First day, I'm the new student, sitting in a group run by the head of spiritual care there. And one of the patients asks the question, when is God coming down here? Is God ever coming down here to save us from this hell? I could hardly breathe. I said, oh my God, what is he going to say? The chaplain, the head of spiritual care, bless him, did not try to answer, because that would have been rescue. Instead, he said this, and he described the situation. He said, you know, look for God in the connections among us. He didn't use these words. He made this very simple. I don't remember exactly. Look for God in the connections between friends. Are you friends with her? Do you do things for each other? Yes, that's where God is. That was his message. Because I thought, yeah, when is God going to come down here and save, especially these people in this place, this hell that they have to live in? I'll never forget that. And the very next day, I walk into the common room and a woman stands up, points at me, and says, "You're full of crap." She did not say crap. I will not say what she said. And then she sat down. So I said, "You're probably right." I didn't take it to heart. It made me think a little bit, but I didn't put it into my whole, psychological workshop of who am I, which is probably a very good thing. Be who you are is tricky because we spend so many years, as May Sarton said, wearing other people's faces. In that hospital, I heard two voices in 2 days. One was that patient asking where God is in hell. That's a voice I can still carry. The other was a woman having a hard day, pointing at the new chaplain to be student. That's a voice I could let pass. Forest Church knew that. The successful minister with 1,000 members had to learn to listen to a different voice. This sober man, after the year 2000, the dying man after 2008, not just a public voice that said, keep producing, come back to NPR, we're going to do a TV program. Not that voice. Want what you have. Do what you can with love. Be who you are is about which voices we let name us. In some ways, I could tell you this story. In other ways, I can't. But I'm gonna. I've spent about 55, 56 years getting rid of voices. And by the way, I don't mean to say that I hear voices, because and it was a good thing I was at a psychiatric hospital. That's not that kind of voice. But I've spent 55 years getting rid of voices that told me you shouldn't be what you are, a lesbian. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be that. And for God's sakes, all you got to do is turn the TV on and I hear the same things. I get these emails in my email list every day with notices of the latest hell that this administration is putting people in, especially members of the LGBTQ plus community, especially transgendered people. Even in the military, again, they are holding secret hearings in the military to get rid of transgendered military people. I'm lucky. I live in a place where I'm basically ignored. That's a good thing. I'm too old for this. And I'm not. Every time I think that, I say, no, you're not, and you've got to do something. Well, do something. Do what I can. There was a tape recorder in my head that I was able to turn off when my parents died. That's a whole sermon. Forget I said that. That's another whole story. Okay. Be who you are appeals to me. I don't hide anymore. And I said it took me 55 years. Well, it took me less than that. A lot less than that. And I got to tell you one more thing. Back in the 70s, maybe 76, there used to be a women's music festival somewhere out in Illinois or Indiana, or I don't even remember where, Missouri. Michigan, thank you. Of course, the Michigan Women's Festival. And I wore a t-shirt one day that said, I'm a lesbian, but nobody knows it. I had all kinds of comments. People would say, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's a part of my life that's just makes me happy. Anyway, let's get back to Forest Church. The good news, there is good news, is that it's never too late. It's never too late to start that journey of self-discovery, of being who you are, of shedding the skin that we've worn since our birth, that has, like an ill-fitting suit, never felt quite right. May Sarton's testament to this fact when she wrote the words, now there is time, and time is young. Like I said, she was 83 years old when she wrote this poem. It was at this chronological advanced age that she discovered her true self, which happened to have been a lesbian. And finally felt her own weight and density. To be who we are is to offer the world the greatest gift that we can give. To invest our lives and all that we do with sincerity, with authenticity, and with deep commitment leads us into relationships with other authentic selves. And in entering into those relationships that are sacred, we cannot help but bring our collective power to bear against the forces of injustice and hatred and depression. Our collective wholeness will, by definition, heal the world. We all we all yearn to be told that we matter, that our true selves are worthy of love and capable of loving. In our common humanity, we share our vulnerabilities and our sensitivities, and we offer them up here on the altar of hope. I hope today that we may each find it within us, each and every day, to want what we have, to do what we can with love, and to be who you are. Amen. And blessed be.
Can we all please stand and sing our closing hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. We sing our thanks and praise for all that is our gift, which we call to use to build a common good and make our own days glad. For services we give, for work and its rewards, for outburst and love, come with praise and thanks. Always our life. And laws, for each new things we learn, for faithful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. All that is our life, our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. Lenore Mickelson will now read our chalice extinguishing message.
I was nervous when I came up here the first time and I read what was Doris Palet's mantra pretty quickly, so I'm just going to say it again. I think it bears repeating. When you die, you only take two things with you: the love you shared and the difference you made. And my other one for the extinguishing is a quote that's been attributed to Ram Dass, which I think is precious to me. And it was said to me at a time of grief for me and a time when I had a lot of self-doubt, with the kindness given to me of a big hug from someone who's a really dear friend. We are all walking each other home, and that means so much to me. Thank you.
Now is the time I invite anyone who is joining us for the first time to stand and introduce ourselves. We would love to get to know you. Anyone? No, not today? All right. If anyone would like to receive regular communications and on upcoming Try UU events, please fill out a guest card, and it's available at the door, and drop it off with our ushers after the service. At this point in time, we have a few minutes for reflections on this sermon. I know there might be quite a few, so we will keep our comments brief, on topic, and no announcements, please. For those of you who are on Zoom, please raise your hand to speak or type your comment in the chat box. For those of you in this Chalice room, please raise your hand, and I will call on you. Please keep the microphone close to your mouth so that we can hear you better. Thank you. Cindy, please. Thank you.
Another wonderful service. I think this is my favorite of all the ones you've done for us this summer. How could it not be my favorite? Because I lived in New York City, and I was on the west side, and Forest Church was on the east side. I went to the UU on the west side, so I never got to see any of his services, and I do kick myself for that. But I listened to his services often on WQXR at night, and I read his books, and it was just truly wonderful. So to hear his inspiration, particularly at that time when we knew he was struggling with his own, saying goodbye to his own life. And I was just young at that, fairly young at that time, and it was just so meaningful. But I was even younger when I discovered May Sarton. And it was curious that young people were very attracted to the writings of a woman who, when I started reading her, I guess she was, when she was in Nelson, New Hampshire, she was in her 60s. I actually went to Nelson, New Hampshire to find her house. Then, when she was in her 70s, she moved to York, Maine, and I went to York, Maine to find her house. I used to tell all the UUs to go and read May Sarton. And a good friend of mine who we used to talk about her on the subway started reading her, and then she moved to Maine. And in 2012 was May Sarton's 100th birthday. May Sarton did not live that long, but this friend got on the committee to do a centennial birthday party, and a bunch of May Sarton fans all gathered, including myself, in Maine. And so I understand this being be who you are, but sometimes who you are can be so inspired by the people that you read and the people that you take into your life, And I think that's what I really took from your sermon today, is to be who you are and do what you can and want what you have. We're living in this richness, and sometimes we're not listening to all the voices that we can listen to and engage with. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's called community.
All right. I'd like to call on Diane, please.
Dale and I voted last Sunday at early voting. I believe that may be over now, I'm not sure. But the election for our primary is this Tuesday, right? Yes. Okay, I want to be sure. So I encourage you to don't let this one go by. It's very important. It'll determine who runs in November, whichever way you vote. So just go out and vote.
All right, thank you for that reminder. I see a hand in the back, but I can't see the face. There you are, okay.
I want to say thank you. You have given me more than you know in so many different ways. So I thank you. I can't believe I was on the cusp of not coming today. And I'm so very glad I did. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yvette, please.
I want to say thank you as well. And you could have repeated the sermon you did about a month ago, and it would have been just as great. I also want to say that I was at an Al-Anon meeting about a month ago, and the subject of love came up. And I spoke and I said, 2 songs come to mind when people start talking about love, and one of them is, "What's love got to do with it?" And I want to know what love is. Well, today, I hadn't been here for a few weeks. I had surgery, so I'm recovering. But today, I really felt a lot of love from my peeps. And I had some people just come up and touch my arm. They knew not to hug me because, that wasn't a good thing right now. But they touched my arm and they said, "I'm glad you're here and good to see you." And today, I felt love.
Thank you. And anyone in the chat room this morning? Oh, okay. I'm afraid that's all we have time for. Thank you all for your comments. We will now have our benediction.
There is too much hardship in this world to not find joy. Every day, there's too much injustice in this world to not right the balance every day. There's too much pain in this world to not heal every day. Each of us ministers to a weary world. Let us go forth now and do that which calls us to make this world more loving, more compassionate, and more filled with the grace of divine presence every day. Go in peace, gentle people. Amen.
Thank you so much for that. I could see a lot of head bobbing and feet tapping. Join us for fellowship in the back of the room until 11. There's a sign-up sheet on the table if you'd like to go out for brunch with the others. And the Zoom room will remain open for 20 minutes. Thank you.